Hello everyone, I'm your host, Boss Zombie. Welcome back to West of Loathing. Okay, let's go give this lady the glass eye. Doesn't have to be a dead glass eye, though. Hello again, dear. Were you able to find me a new eye? Kind of. How kind, thank you very much. She takes the glass eye from you and puts it in, whereupon it falls to her and onto the floor. She tuts it, she picks it up. Oh dear, it's a little too physical. Yeah, I wasn't certain that this would work. Don't worry, this is easily fixed. Do you have a hammer I can borrow? Yes? LUNACY, thank you. She takes the hammer, places the glass eye on her desk, and smashes it with a precise crack. Ah, perfect. She gives you back the hammer and plucks the ghost of the glass eye from the shattered fragments. After blowing the dust off of it, she tucks it into her eye socket. That fits much better. Oh, she actually has a different little sprite now. Does it work? Well, now that you mention it, no, I can't actually see with it. It is the ghost of a glass eye, after all. Oh dear, this won't do it all. What a shame. You know, I don't really understand why your eye is still missing. What do you mean? Well, I always assumed when someone loses an arm or something, it just sticks around as an arm ghost. That's why people say they can feel it itching sometimes, because you still got an arm there, but it's a ghost. It's even called phantom limb syndrome. I mean, I guess. So logically, if the rest of you becomes a ghost after that, it would hook right back up. But then, where did my eye go? Maybe it got pushed back inside your head? The ghost thinks about this for a second, then shakes her head. No, that seems... Wait. What? I do think I felt something just then. She shakes her head again. My goodness gracious. Keep going. It's like one of those puzzles where you try to get the marble nose. She bends her head forward and continues shaking it. You can almost hear a faint rattling sound and a plop. She straightens back up, blinking with two eyes. You did it! Well, I'll be. Thank you so much, dear. I never would have thought of that. No problem. Have a nice time in heaven or whatever. The ghost gives you a friendly wave and fades out of sight. Well, that's that then. Ooh, I almost have enough for another level up. I can go in here freely now. Hey, do you want a cigar? No. Exploding cigar. Maybe I can do that in the basement too, because that's like all the tool stuff is down there. Let's take a trip to the basement. Does Pete actually tell me what I need to keep track of? What do you think we should do next? Nope. Okay, so Pete can't actually keep track of... Ooh, her thing is so glowy. Let's see. Bismuth bench. Device. Maybe later. You've done enough damage. Okay, so that's a no-go on there. Was there anywhere else with, like, tools? Maybe in the carriage place? Where's a lathe? Was there one here? I can't remember all the stuff. There is a lathe here. Hey, maybe you can make that billiards cue less wobbly. I thought I just couldn't remember where it was, but I had a feeling I'd seen it. Ooh, that's actually really good now. Yeah, it's a shame this DLC seems to give you incredible gear, but there's no reason that you need it. Like, actually, maybe you could do this DLC first and then the main game if you had it installed that way? I don't know. He was in... No, this was the knife check. No, this was it. Challenge him to a game. Play your cue, goes Nas, and rack the ball. Proceeds to crush you. Something feels wrong, like your cue isn't connecting to the ball properly. Ghost shakes his head at you. You totally knew this, ain't you? You gotta chalk your cue. Chalk? Can I borrow yours? Mine's ghost chalk. Wouldn't work. Dang it. Chalk? Where do I find chalk? Alright, let's just keep going, I guess. Oh, I didn't finish in the music room. It kicked me out. Without the lady here to crank it, the hurdy-gurdy is neither hurting nor girding. This is a bassoon, and you know what they say, it makes an ass out of N and what? Boo! Turn it off. A musty decaying pile of old music books. Face them. Almost all the books are dry rotted and moth-eaten and falling apart at the touch. You do find a copy of Dueling Banjos in reasonable shape, though. Dueling Banjos? Oh, it has a library call number. Some sheet music? Play Dueling Banjos. I can't play Dueling Banjos by myself. I don't have enough arms. Florence? Sorry, I only play the bagpipe and not very well. If it's a bagpipe, how do you know? How about you, Pete? Left my banjo home. Anyways, that ain't a banjo, it's a piano. Ain't right. You guys are no fun. What is this? What are you doing, sir? This is the ghost of an orchestra conductor, unless he's a ghost of someone pretending to be an orchestra conductor. Either he's very agitated about something, or he's conducting Flight of the Bumblebees. Sorry to interrupt, but I can't actually hear the music. What are you conducting? It is the finale of the year 1812 Solemn Overture by Tchaikovsky. Tchaikovsky. Oh, the 1812 Overture. That's the one with the cannons, isn't it? Sure, that would have been my second guess. Is your orchestra like Double Ghost or something? What? Ah, I see. No, there's no orchestra. I merely have this piece of music irrevocably lodged in my head. He's been nagging at me incessantly ever since my death. What about your death? Did you die during performance of the 1812 Overture? That is correct, yes. Very astute of you. And the finale of that piece features real cannons, right? Is that how you died? If it was my fate to be slain by a piece of music, cannons would have been far preferable to my utterly farcical demise. What happened? The overture requires several cannons because it is impossible to load a single cannon quickly enough to fire as the score demands. However, the stage we were performing on could not have borne that weight. What did you do? I was not informed of the difficulty until it was far too late to make any changes. It transpired that the stage manager decided it would be sufficient to give a box of bullets to the tuba player. You were shot by a tuba? I was shot, as you say, by a tuba. Oh, no wonder you ended up as a ghost. Oh, it isn't the ridiculousness of my death that troubles me, really. Accidents happen. As with any of the performing arts, a colleague of mine was decapitated by an errant cymbal during performance of Paganini's Violin Concerto No. 1. Such are the risks we take for our art. Gosh. The problem is that the 1812 Overture's finale is a very dramatic and energetic piece. With this music constantly replaying itself in my head, I've been utterly unable to find peace. I'll see if I can think of a way to help. So I need to play music for him? Wait! Is it finally time? An item I got way at the beginning of the game that just didn't really have any use? Where is it? You! Oh, never mind. Damn, that seemed like it would really work. Oh, I thought I was being so clever. Alright. Thank you, piano. You've done an excellent service here. Oh, I didn't talk to my buddies in there. Come on. Looks like I got a music room. What sort of music do you like, Pete? What do you call the music room? The one fella's ratting a couple spoons, and the other fella's tooting across the end of a jug? Noise? Yep, that's the one. 9 ghosts left. So we've taken care of 4. 2 first floor, 3 second, 4th floor. This is really interesting. It's the first time I've encountered a ghost who is himself haunted. A double ghost. What do you mean? The phenomenon of having a song stuck in your head is essentially being haunted by the music of that particular piece of music. Huh, that's really poetic. No, I'm speaking totally literally. I'm working on a special electrified cotton swab to exercise ghost songs with, but still in the testing phase. Say, I don't suppose you'd... I wouldn't, no. I don't know what she was going to say. Damn, this is a nice painting. This sunflower is enchanted to not need natural light, so it's an unflower. He's all ears. Kids... Why is the Kurtz music playing here? Do you not trust this horse one bit? This looks like where the creepy music is coming from. Transcribe it. Spooky lullaby sheet music. Ugh. It's full of baby supplies you don't understand, like bottled pillows and burping rags. The composition of this painting is bad in every way. Yeah, because it looks like freaking Pennywise. Wait, stuffing. This teddy bear has been comprehensively and enthusiastically disemboweled. Oh, hey. This stuffing would be perfect for making a silencer. Sorry, Teddy, this is for the greater good. Oh, so I could come here for maybe infinite? Oh. Toy box. Who knows what horrors it contains? A stuffed gun. That's macabre than you were expecting. Is that actually a weapon? Oh yeah, 10 mysticality. With no damage. What is my... No, I'll stick to that. Some wooden blocks with letters on them. Play with them. Oh, God. This is more of a 3.5 poster bed. This guy's a smile frozen on his face, and his eyes dart around in panic as he pretends to sip tea. One eye twitches. He tries to whisper to you out of the corner of his mouth. A drop of sweat rolls down his brow, and he stares at the little ghost who doesn't seem to have noticed. Still not getting. Can you speak up? His hands are shaking. If he were holding an actual teacup, it probably would have shattered by now. He hisses at you through his clenched teeth. Sorry, can't understand you. Bye. This little girl is serving imaginary tea to her guests. The doll, while terrifying, is largely indifferent. The museum employee, on the other hand, is playing along with a rictus grin on his face. The little girl wears an annoyed and disappointed frown. Hello there. My name's Hoss. Can I join your tea party? Hello there. My name's if you want, I guess. But it's a terrible tea party. Oh, what's wrong? You aren't having fun? All I have is dumb made-up tea. I want a proper tea party like Mama took me to. Tell me about the party. We went to a real tea room. It was so pretty. There were vases with flowers in them, and everyone was all dressed up in suits and pretty dresses. And there were white china teacups for tea. Real tea, not imaginary. Well, that sounds very nice. It was so nice. And everyone was so polite and charming and elegant. Well, until the fight started anyway. Uh-oh, there was a fight. Well, two of the gentlemen there got into an argument. I don't know what it was about, but I guess one said something the other one didn't like, and he was so insulted he threw his tea right in the other man's face. And then they took guns out and started shooting at each other right there in the tea room. Whoa! They were still really elegant, though. They had little silver and ivory pistols, and they kept their pinky out the whole time. Anyway, I don't remember the rest very well, except one of them missed the other and shot me by mistake. I am so sorry. Thanks, but it's alright. Heaven's supposed to be really nice, so I guess I don't mind so much. But I didn't get to finish my tea party, so I want to have another one before I go. Except I don't have any tea, and make-believe tea isn't fun anymore. My incredible instincts have gotten me tea from way back when this started. Oh, that's wonderful, thank you. She serves the tea, and the four of you, okay, well not the doll, sip it with your pinkies extended in genteel fashion. Then with a giggle and a wave, she fades away. Rest in peace, kiddo. Sir? Oh, thank God, I thought it would never be over. Look at me, I'm shaking like a leaf. Kind of a freaky situation, right? Having to deal with little kids freaks me out bad enough. Having to interact with the ghost of one was horrifying. Anyways, thanks for the rescue, I need to get back to work. What do you do here? I run the candy counter. Nice kid. Heck, we got lucky's all. Little ghost kids are utterly unpredictable. That's commentary. God. Why do I keep hearing the music here? Blank chalkboard. Write something. You monster, why would you write that? What, could I have the chalk? Take the chalk! Blue chalk. Can I chalk the... And if you want to trick somebody... Okay, can I equip the balanced billiards cue? Or is that just automatic when I go to interact again? Okay, no. Yeah, I think it's definitely starting to lag because I just have too many items. Where was that? Yeah, give me that. What is this? That's a doll mine. How adorable. Just look at the little miners and mine carts and mine shafts and bowls of minestrone. What's this? There's a tiny stick of dynamite stuck in the little borehole. This toy is interactive. Oh. Can I combine that with the cigar? Examine it. Did you know that firecrackers are just tiny sticks of dynamite and that this is just an even tinier one? And that a pumpkin is technically a berry? Wait a second. What if you stuck this into one of the cigars you found? Yeah, what if that? Wait a second. You poke a hole in the tip of the cigar and insert the dynamite. You got an item exploding cigar. This is a much nicer vanity than that of the average frontier teen. Ooh. There's a Daniel Boone poster. One corner is loose. See what's behind it. Oh, it says boo. Someone has been slacking on their geometry homework. Tisk tisk, do it for them. decided to just take the book with you and do the assignment later. Oh, is that another thing I can turn into the library? The roofers would probably understand it, but you sure as hell don't. Maybe not. Plaid skirt in here, that's sort of like legless pants. Oh, perfect! Everything's coming together. Someone forgot a book under the bed. Take a look. Fun law rules for parlor games. Fun law and gun law. Wow, everything really is coming together in this room. And science. You yank the needle away from the cylinder and hide the handle away. Okay. I've gotten a whole bunch of stuff from the end hall here. I should have come here first. Well, first... Wait, where's Florence? Say, Pete, got any kids? Nope. Got a mule, though. Oh, where is it? He moved out a couple years ago. Went back to college back east. Real proud of him. Wow, that's great. I mean, yeah, that is great. Just weird. Florence, would you like a sciencey thing? What's this thing? Oh, whatever it is, I'm sure it's safe. Florence attaches some of the science doohickeys you gave her to her weird backpack. Medicinal gas. Ooh, can she heal now? Alright, let's proceed back to here. Talk to Billiards Boy, who was in this room. Game. You chalk up your cue and the ghost racks the ball. It's a close match. You have to consult that geometry book a few times just to work out all the angles. Oh, that's what that was for. The game comes down to a fight for the 8-ball, and you manage to barely squeak out the win when the ghost catches an unlucky bounce off the corner of a pocket. Well, shucks. Nice shooting, Tex. He flips you a finger gun salute, winks, and fades into nothingness. Oh, I can grab a ball? A 5-ball. What does that do? Set enemy on fire for 25 extra damage. Start every fight on fire. That seems terrible. Can I put that back? Okay. Let's go back to... Where was the guy who wanted the pants? That was the first floor. Let me do a sweep. Dining room's done. Kitchen's done. As far as ghosts go. Parlor. What was in the parlor? Rat and sit. One of them kind of smells like chili. Why does it say rat and sit? No, wait. No, I don't want to go to the cellar. Oh, so it was on the second floor? I thought... Oh, wait, he's in the kitchen, in the pantry. I just need to figure out the other thing for that guy. I still can't... How about the skirt? Look, I understand that genderization of clothing maybe shouldn't be a thing, but I'm kind of old-fashioned. Did I say skirt? I meant kilt. What's a kilt? It's a special kind of foreign legless pants for men. Here, try it. Hey, that's real nice. Thanks a lot. With his pants problem solved, he dissipates into the ether. Turn that off. Is there anything? What is this guy? He wants a photo? Where do I find a photograph of him? Okay, second floor. Let's go to the library now. Because I have a book I can turn in. Found a book. I thought you might want it back. Oh, thank you. Put it back on the shelf if you would. The number on the spine will lead you to its proper location. You have 2 books that you could put back. Fun Law and Dueling Banjos. They go on different shelves, so you can't do them both at once. Fun Law. You find the shelf where Fun Law belongs and put it back. The next book on the shelf is entitled Gun Law. Oh, excuse me. Which might be even more entertaining. What about the other one, though? You find the shelf where Dueling Banjos belongs and put it back. The previous book on the shelf is entitled Duel Law, which seems to be about legal issues surrounding dueling. Never know when that one might come in handy. Excuse me. Read it. You got a perk Gun Law. You learn basically everything there is to know about gun law. Now you can be the prosecuting attorney and defense counsel, in addition to judge, jury, and executioner. After that, you put the book back on its shelf. Time to dispense some justice. Duel law? You learn about all the laws pertaining to dueling. It turns out when 2 guys want to murder each other in a fair and reasonable manner, things get legally tricky. Okay, I've got perks. Gun law and duel law. 5 pistol attack, 5 pistol attack. Oh. That's just a free 10 pistol attack right there. What did this lady want? I don't know how to help this lady. Okay, but the gun law lady was this room. What's your problem? In fact, I think you'll find I'm quite conversant in the finer points of our justice system, particularly as it pertains to guns and gun-related activity. Horseradish, y'all trousers and no briefs. Oh yeah, well just try me, smart lady. Obviously, you aren't going to leave me alone, so just ask your questions. Ahem. I'm Haas Zombie, speaking for the record. State your name, occupation, cause of death. Felicity Wainwright, defense attorney. Lost a court-approved trial by combat. What? Trial by combat has been outlawed for like 15 years. You do understand that ghosts don't visually age as time passes, right? Oh, right. So your client called for trial by combat, which meant you and the prosecutor had to face off in a duel? That's correct. And you lost? She squints at you. Are you going to act dumb and trying to throw me off guard? I withdraw the question. Why are you stuck as a ghost? Because although trial by combat was already well out of fashion at the time, it was still a valid legal recourse. I should have been prepared for the possibility, but I wasn't. My lack of training resulted in an innocent man being executed for murder. Uh-oh. Hey, my Elgato just cut out. That's not good. Did I just lose all of that recording? Because that would suck. Let's see. It's recording now. Oh, that's the wrong one. Video. Hey, you better not be corrupted, because you did end. It has a thumbnail. Let's see. Is this the one I just did? Tea Party. I just learned to... Okay, so... I don't know why that happened. I'm going to put parentheses on that folder now. Wait, no. That's the one we're recording right now? Now I'm all kinds of confused. Hold on. I'm going to stop this one, because that might be glitched out. Because it doesn't seem to be recording anything new. Ugh, that's not great. I don't like that. Alright, and I'm hitting recording button now. Can't help but notice it's not actually recording anything. Uh-oh. Something happened to Elgato that's not good. Let me sort that all out real quick. 1 second. Okay. Think I fixed it. I don't know what that was. Just a freak accident. It took a lot of fiddling, but it's working again, it seems. And the recording seems to be saving, so yay. Anyways. My lack of training resulted in an innocent man being executed for murder. Ooh, how was he executed? Hanging, I assume. Obviously, I wasn't around to see it. So to release you, I'd need to prove that the loss wasn't your fault. The trial duel was completely fair and above board. There's no chance of there having been foul play on the prosecutor's part. My loss was my own. Then I'd have to prove your client was actually guilty, and therefore your feelings of responsibility are misplaced. The look she gives you is hard and cold. Look. You think you know a thing or two about the law? How about you tell me the first rule of being a defense attorney? Don't make fun of the judge's beard. You have to trust and believe in your client. If you don't believe your client is innocent, you'll never convince anyone else he is either. So if I want to convince you he is guilty, you'll have an uphill fight, fella. You're essentially playing prosecutor here. Alright, tell me about the case. My defendant was Matthew Guilty McCready, accused of the murder of Victor Vic Timsbury at noon on June 18th, 1878, in Reno. Some questions. Your client was actually named Guilty? Come on. Names don't mean anything. I once had a client named Ike Ildeguy, and he was totally innocent. For someone's actual legal name, sure, but sometimes nicknames are usually given with some sort of basis. You've never met a really tall guy called Tiny or a fat guy called Slim? Arguably, the name Guilty would reinforce my client's innocence. That's totally absurd, but I'll let it rest for now. Something else. Cause of death? Timsbury was shot through the heart with a .45 caliber revolver. Did McCready own such a gun? Yes, he was holding it at the time, and subsequent examination showed it had been recently fired. Are you messing with me? Any further questions? Yeah. This was at noon precisely? Yes, that was confirmed by witnesses. Also, McCready owned a fancy pocket watch that chimed in the hours. There were witnesses, about a half dozen of them. I'm pretty sure there's something you aren't telling me. I'm not obliged to play my hand face up, Mr. Prosecutor. Okay. Go ahead, hang on a second. Shot with a pistol in front of witnesses at exactly noon. Was this a duel? So you can add 2 plus 2 after all. Well done. Well, as luck would have it, I recently read a whole book about duel law. What? Why? No reason. I just happened across it in the library and thought it might be interesting. You read an entire code of law you found at random just for the heck of it? Yep. Let me just do a quick review. A duel is legal provided it's between exactly 2 people at a specific prearranged time and place using the same or at least essentially similar weapons. And they have to either face each other down and quick draw at the appointed moment or do the 10 paces turn and fire routine. Is that right? That's the gist of it, yes. So I guess let's start with you telling me the fact of the case, and I'll interrupt you rudely if I have any questions. Alright, but if you push me on trivial nonsense, I'll get mad and you'll have to start over. That seems fair. Go ahead. McCready and Timsbury got into an argument in a saloon on this evening of June 17th. Apparently Timsbury accused McCready of cheating at poker. Okay. The bartender yelled at them to take it outside, but since it was dark out, they agreed to meet for a duel the next day. And that would be the 18th, as you said? Yes, June 18th. Well, the next day, they both showed up shortly before noon and squared off about 30 feet from each other. When noon struck, McCready fired, fast enough that Timsbury didn't even get his shot off, on account of having his head shot off. That's pretty much the long and short of it. More details on that. Go ahead, what weapons were they using? McCready had a .45 caliber single-action army revolver. Timsbury had an older model 36 caliber cap and ball navy revolver, which he loaded with paper cartridges instead of packing the gunpowder by hand. Objection, those are significantly different weapons. Are you kidding me? They're both pistols. A modern cartridge revolver versus an antique cap and ball loader? Ridiculous. That antique was in production until 1873 and was considered one of the most reliable and popular 6-shooters in the territories. Furthermore, the restrictions against differing weapons in a duel is about pistols versus rifles, or proverbial knife in a gunfight. Or as a more recent example, a nitwit trying to argue the law against a professional attorney. Oh, that's a bit harsh. Oh, you gotta... I have to do it all... Wow, game. The game is struggling so bad. Maybe that's why they haven't ported the new one over, because it kind of... It chugs. Okay. Seems fair, go ahead. Go on. Go on. Okay. He fired exactly at noon? Yes, as soon as the church bell started ringing. You also mentioned McCready's pocket watch. Yes, he had a fancy pocket watch chimed on the hour. Is that important for some reason? I guess not. Let me ask something else. What weapons were they using? Okay, something else. You said there were witnesses? About a half dozen of them watching from across the street or peeking through half-open shutters. Were they interviewed? Yes, and their stories lined up with what I just told you. Any associates of McCready? Well, I'm not aware of any of them being actual friends with McCready, but he was local and a lot of people knew him. She's suspicious of me. Wait a minute. Where are you going? Another question. Start over. Okay. Some questions? Tell me more about the argument. There isn't much to tell. The other players in the game had already folded their hands in that round, so they weren't paying very close attention. All we know is that Timsbury suddenly accused McCready of being a dirty, cheating varmint. McCready said Timsbury was just sore because he'd been losing all night. Did McCready have a history of cheating? He'd been accused of it once or twice before, but Reno is a gambling town, and he hung out in the rough part of it. Getting accused of cheating by a sore loser when you're on a lucky streak is par for the course. But if McCready had a history of cheating, it would be irrelevant, because the reason for the duel is immaterial to the legality of the duel itself. Motive isn't an issue here, but... Remember how I warned you about taking me off with stupid digressions? This is an excellent example. Objection is extremely relevant? Oh no, okay, so this is nothing. Okay. Wow, so you have to get it right. I'm like worried that if I do this too many times, my game's just gonna crash. I wish this crown was smaller. Okay. Go ahead. Go on. Okay, question. They set a specific time for the duel. High noon figures. Why is it always high noon? Tradition, I suppose, and since the sun is at its highest in the sky, everything's brightly lit and there aren't many shadows, so that's good for gunfighting. Makes sense? Plus you can have your duel on your lunch break. Something else. What happened next? More questions. Exactly noon? So McCready fired as soon as the church bell struck noon. That's what I just said. Have you got a point to make, or are you just stalling for time to think? Objection? What the heck? McCready fired at the wrong time. What are you talking about? He fired exactly at noon with the church bells. There are witnesses. That's right, he fired at clock noon, but the duel was set for high noon. They aren't the same thing. High noon is just when the sun is at its highest point in the sky. Depending on geography and the time of year, it can be hours different from the clock noon. McCready fired early, and that makes the duel illegal. What do you say to that, counselor? Felicity gives you a slow smile. I've got to hand it to you, Prosecutor Zombie. You're a lot better at this than what I was giving you credit for. That's a good thought you had there. There's just one problem with it. What's that? I already thought of it. Take that. She hurls a small book at you, which you just barely managed to catch. The 1878 Nautical Almanac. What the heck is this? I did my homework when I was preparing for the trial. My legal homework, since at the time I was expected to be in an actual trial, not a gunfight. What you're holding there is a nautical almanac for the year 1878. There are bookmarks if you'd like to do the math yourself. But if you look up solar noon, aka high noon, for June the 18th, and make the adjustment for Reno's longitude, what do you think you get? You've got to be kidding me. That's right, Mr. Prosecutor. 12 o'clock p.m. precisely. No! Well, damn. Nice try, though. I mean that sincerely. That's all my ammo. Can't think of any other way to disprove McCready's innocence. As far as I can see, it was a fair duel. Yes, and that's me with the guilt of an innocent man's death on my hands. An innocent man's death? You sure are good at repeating things people say. What if he didn't die? Say what now? Well, you didn't actually see the execution, right? Well, yes, I was indisposed, you might say, being dead and all. So you don't actually know whether or not it happened. Oh, come on, look, I appreciate the effort, but you're barking at the moon. Let me ask you something. Alright, go ahead. What can you tell me about McCready? He was a gunfighter through and through, and by that I mean he was an adrenaline addict, and dueling was his needle of choice. Hell, if you told me you had evidence that he cheated at poker with a specific intent of baiting people and challenging them to duels, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised. He was a sly one. Her expression softens and she sighs. I make him sound like a real devil. That's not fair. He was smart and charming and could have been a good man if he'd chosen an entirely different life for himself. Anything else? Well, I recall he had a real good head for numbers. He told me that he never forgot a date, and every man he'd ever killed, he'd remember to pour a beer on their grave on their birthday. Well, that's nice. A nicer birthday present would have been not having killed them in the first place, of course. Yep. Another question? Why did he invoke trial by combat? Assuming he was innocent, why would McCready invoke trial by combat? His case was pretty straightforward. A duel only worsened his odds. I was mighty surprised, let me tell you. The only thing I could figure is it was his damn fool sense of gunfighter's pride or something. Like that was the only form of justice he was willing to submit himself to. Another question? Was the trial right after the duel, the 19th? No. I don't know what Reno's like now, but it didn't have a proper courthouse then, and you can't try a murder charge in the sheriff's front parlor. McCready sat in jail for a couple weeks, and they transported him to Frisco. What with one thing and another, the trial didn't start until July 25th. Jeez, so much to the right for a speedy trial. The wheels grind slow. Another question? When was the execution? Well, we held the trial by combat on the 26th, and that was a Friday. They don't execute prisoners on the weekend, so presumably it would have been the following Monday, the 29th. In the morning? What with setting up the gallows and letting a crowd gather, they usually happen in the afternoon, around 3 typically. Another question? I'll head back. Let me read that book. Oh, game. The game was struggling so hard to load that I couldn't get away from her to look up a date in it. You could look up a date. What was it? When did she say July 29th? That was when McCready was going to be executed. Let's see. Wow, wait a minute. According to this, there was a total eclipse of the sun that day, centered right up over the Western Territories and with its totality at 2:47 p.m. That's a hell of a thing. Wait. Can I tell her that? Question for you. I looked up July 29th in your almanac. And get this, there was a total eclipse of the sun that day. What? Now you're just messing with me. No, look for yourself. Totality at 2:47 p.m. right over the Western Territories. Well, that's quite a thing, but I don't see how that affects... Wait, unless you're suggesting... Right, it was the perfect opportunity for McCready to escape. That's absurd. Absurd like a fox. You said yourself that McCready was really good with remembering dates. He could have read about the eclipse at any time and stored the knowledge away for future use, like to give himself an advantage in a duel or something. Alright, that's reasonable as far as it goes, but McCready couldn't have worked the eclipse into an escape plan because he didn't have any say over the court schedule. You said, what with one thing and another, the trial didn't start until the 25th. McCready could have caused any number of those delays himself by faking illness in prison or messing with the horses on the ride to Frisco or anything. This could also explain the trial by combat. You mean there ended up being too much delay, so if a regular trial went on too long and he was found guilty, he would have missed the eclipse. Exactly, whereas if he called for trial by combat, everything would be resolved one way or another in only one or more day. Maybe you'd win and that'd be fine, but if you lost, he could use his escape plan. I have to admit, that is pretty compelling, but it's all maybes and what ifs. Yeah, maybe it happened, but maybe McCready was rescued by leprechauns. Oh man, are there leprechauns in Frisco? You need some kind of hard evidence before this is any more than just a fun story. That's what I mean. Let me ask you something else. How can I find evidence of McCready's escape? Well, I don't know what Well, we don't know that escape even happened, true. Something like that would have to have been in the news for certain. I still don't know what that joke is. The news. Maybe the news would be in the library? No, you find a bundle of old newspapers in the bottom of one shelf, the Frisco Newsinator. You start at the bottom of the stack and flip through them until you find the paper for the week of July 28th, August 3rd, 1878. The main feature has to do with the eclipse and various accidents and spectacles that occurred because most people weren't expecting it. The editor apologized for burying the announcement in the previous week's weather forecast. Most notably, all three men scheduled to be hanged on the 29th escaped in the confusion. Only two of them were recaptured. Unfortunately, their names aren't given. You don't find anything else relevant to the case, however, as you put in the papers back in order on the shelf, a headline in a more recent issue catches your eye. Husband of famous inventor missing. The article is light on information, but apparently Mrs. Gunn's husband, Dan, vanished on the road while traveling to Dirtwater on business about 6 years ago. Law enforcement suspected Ben has been no evidence was found. That's kind of grim. Wait, so that didn't actually... I still can't talk to her, right? Any old newspapers? Okay. Oh, I guess I should have asked her. This is a really long one. We'll continue this in the next episode because I've lost track of how long this is with the freak out glitch and all that. So yeah, thanks for joining me. Come back, all the next stuff up real soon. But until then, bye.